are now tuned in to Atlanta's hottest radio show.
Our stories from our studio to your ear. It's the Beyond Swanky podcast.
With your host, Kennedy Lucas. On Swanky 93.3 radio station. The Heat 94.6 radio station.
Swanky who? Swanky do. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today, of course, bringing y'all another episode of the Beyond Swanky podcast. I'm your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Welcome back to the show. Of course, we're giving you guys enough podcasting this week, and we still got a lot of podcasting to go. T, of course, we've got T, he's here, Monica, she's here, Patterson is here, James is here, everybody is here for the studio, Swanky Studios, to give you guys another exciting podcast today. And it's very fitting. I wanted to do a podcast today because we are trying to squeeze in time where we can do the K.L.P. Aftermath podcast. We've got a lot going on. We have this big photo shoot that we have to do on Wednesday now. And yeah, we're going to be in the office a lot more. As you guys know, we're getting ready for New York. So we're trying to wrap things up in the office for the next 2 weeks. So not saying that K.L.P. Aftermath is going anywhere. It's just, I don't think we're going to have time this week to do the K.L.P. Aftermath. I'm going to try to see if I can squeeze it in. As you guys know, we run our media label, K.L.P. Entertainment. And you know, we do a lot of media, whether it's writing articles, writing magazine covers, reviews, or, you know, podcasting that we can. And we're doing a lot of other stuff within our business. So I apologize. I really do apologize because I know a lot of people do enjoy the K.L.P. Aftermath. With that podcast, it takes a lot of pre-production, right? It takes a lot of production, a lot of lighting, a lot of cameras, a lot of setup. And we just can't find the time. But I do want to give you guys another exciting podcast because this is a podcast that I genuinely enjoy doing, because this is a podcast where I can come on and really give you guys some content and talk about some things and really get into it. So hopefully you guys enjoy this podcast for sure. If you're listening again on Stitcher Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, that's a big one for us. Audacity. Yes, we found out that we're on Audacity as well. Audacity is one of it's a huge radio, internet radio station and app that you guys can get. We're everywhere. I love it. I really do love it. So again, we're ready for another exciting podcast, and I'm ready for today's sponsor. If you guys don't know what time it is, T, it's sponsor time. Yesterday's podcast, the Beyond Swanky podcast with your host K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas, was brought to you by Date Fit. Now, if you guys looking, I know, I get it. Everybody has tried eHarmony. A lot of people have tried Tinder, Bumble, Humble. What's another one? Plenty of Fish, Tag, Grinder. I'm sure a lot of people have tried a lot of dating apps out there. But this is not just another dating app, but this is actually an interesting one, right? Date Fit. Now, it is a dating app that you guys can get on your phone, and it's the #1 fitness dating plus friends app. Find inspiring friends with their new Date Fit social feature that they have. Yes, you're meeting people who are fit. That's a new one. I've never seen it before. Every time I go to Crunch, I see them. They're not the commercial, but I'm sure they've got an exclusive partnership with Crunch. And I see it when I go to Crunch Snellville. I see their little, again, it's not a commercial, but it's like an infomercial. They really have a marketing material for that. And it's out there and people look at it. And I said, they got to be the sponsor for the show, because over 71,000 followers, by the way, on Instagram. And as always, if you are a Crunch member, you can get the front month premium for free for the first month with the code CRUNCH. Now, again, you do have to be a Crunch member because they're going to ask you for your Crunch credentials, and you use the promo code CRUNCH for the free 1 month premium with that code. Again, get your date on. You guys could find somebody that has an experience with you. And here's what I want to do. definitely I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try this. If you guys don't know, I'm a fitness nut. I am a fitness influencer, if you will, inspiring fitness influencer. I work out a lot more because we're getting ready for the big trip of NYC, and I'm gonna try this. And when I try this, I'm going to do a kind of review of my first impression on the podcast. So if you'd like to see that, comment below. Yes, we're going to do that for sure. So let's get on to it because we've got some great topics of conversations today. T, Monica, how y'all doing? Y'all doing good? Everybody's doing good here in the studio as well. I'm ready for another exciting podcast because, you know, I love doing this stuff. Now, let's get on to it. Very controversial, if you will. And this was news brought by Crystal Dynamics, Montreal, Square Enix, Marvel's Avengers, guys. Let me tell you all about it. Development for Marvel's Avengers, is reported to set in with the update 2.8 in March of 2023. Yeah, this is bittersweet, right? Because a lot of people didn't like this game. I bought it, I played it, I reviewed it. It was okay, right? For the most part, for what I wanted to play it for. Then I got the free upgrade for PlayStation 5. Again, it's the same kind of concept, but you know, this is a game that I've had high hopes for. I really did. This game did not sell well. This game, when it first got announced, a lot of people were so excited for this game because this was the game that, you know, it changed when we first saw the first trailer, when it first ever got announced. Everybody was super excited about it. But then when the game came out, a lot of people hate it. I hated it for its microtransactions. If you guys don't know, I'm not huge on microtransactions. I hate those with a passion. You're charging people $60, $70 for a video game. So why in the world do you think it's going to be better for you to charge microtransactions for skins? I don't get it. People buy skins in video games. And for me, I'm just not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of wasting money really for skins and cosmetic stuff. I never get it. A lot of people do it for Halo. A lot of people have done it for Fortnite and all of those other games. I am just not a fan of it. Of course, Marvel's Avengers is no stranger to controversy, as early criticism led to the title launching to critical and commercial disappointment. I remember too, because I seen the commercials. I bet they spent a lot on them commercials, because I've seen the commercials a lot. Now, fans are seriously stuck with it, however, and place their hopes in a variety of future updates that could improve it. Crystal Dynamics announced that it's scrapping the roadmap for Avengers early, with many updates are already announced and leaked for the title. Hope to see these features has diminished overnight. This is bittersweet. But I do say this has to be kind of the idea of other game developers that's developing games today. And I hope that other game developers are taking note. Because I'm sure they had a lot of investors within this game, and it's sad. It really is sad, because a lot of people worked really hard into this game, and now that the project's in, it's like, okay, what else do we do? You know, what else can we really do for the game? How can we make more money from it? And it's just one of those things that, you know, it's out there, and people have lost money, right? People have lost a lot of money, producers, directors, investors within this game, because it didn't sell well. I hope that we have another Avengers game that is slightly better. I feel like some of the superhero type video games are just lackluster, and I gotta say for both, right? Let's talk about it, because you had Avengers, right? They didn't sell well. Gotham Knights is another example where, again, they didn't sell well, right? They didn't get the scoring, right? Not trying to cross the brand here, but they're kind of the same way, where they're not putting their all when it comes to these superhero games into it. And that's what's really disappointing, because you have such a great IP like Gotham Knights and Marvel's Avengers, where these developers are not really putting their all into it, right? Even though they say they do, they're not really putting their all into it, because Marvel's Avengers from Crystal Dynamics could have been better, right? Could have been better, but it didn't. I would have liked for Marvel's Avengers to have more of an open world concept, and it did kind of, but like it was very repetitive. The story made sense, but the gameplay was just very button mashing, and I feel like I was doing the same thing over and over and over again. Again, microtransactions was a bad choice for the game as well, because a lot of people hate those kind of things, and it's good. I tell you the one thing, T, that's good from the game is the update, right? You get the smooth 60 frames per second type of performance mode, and that's one thing that they announced, and that's one thing with the update you get, right, for PlayStation 5. But I gotta say, that's like really the only cool thing, right? I thought the Black Panther expansion was cool. It was interesting. Again, games like that I would have liked to see more on. Not so upset about that, because I do know EA is working on a Captain America Black Panther game. So I hope, and God knows, I hope EA is taking notes, right? Because that's next, right? The next, well, besides Spider-Man 2, but you know, Insomniac Games, they nailed 2018 Spider-Man, so I got no worries on that one. But EA is the next developer that's taking this IP and making video games, so I hope that they're taking notes. I hope that they see the failures of Avengers, and I hope they say, okay, we're not going to do that. I really do, because now gamers like myself, we're getting a little bit more lenient on what we buy, right? We're watching these games, we're watching their reviews, we're getting very stingy with it, right? Because games are high, right? Video games are high. Some might say that some games are overly priced. So I am very interested to see what these game developers are going to do, because people are not just going to be willy-nilly trying a game for an investment nowadays, because games are $70. Now they're looking at reviews, right? They're looking at how good the game is before they lay down $70 for a video game, right? So it's just one of those things that we're very cautious about, and I hope video game developers are just taking their time and really giving their all, right? Because you're charging us $70 for this stuff now, so a lot of people are going to be more inclined to say, okay, let me look at the reviews first before I make that investment. So it's a sad dynamic, no pun intended, but it's a sad dynamic for Crystal Dynamics and Marvel's Avengers. I had high hopes for this. Like I say, I'm like that too, where I played the game, I beat it, and I never picked it up, right? You never picked it up. So it's on this way to be out the door, and it's going to be a game that people remember, but people are going to forget. And I'm sure Crystal Dynamics is making something else. They're going to have another IP, right? But it's a sad dynamic for sure. And you know, I had high hopes for the game, but it is one of the things that it did happen, and this game is going to be kaput, right, T? So rest in peace, Marvel's Avengers, for sure. While we're on the topic, when I said rest in peace, I really do mean that to a lot of people out there. We got a little bit of some news. Again, and typically on the podcast, I don't really like to report on bad news, but yes, I've got like two bad news this week. First of all, Gossip Girl won't be renewed for season 3, the reboot. Honestly, okay, I liked Gossip Girl, the reboot. Right, you guys know I reviewed about it. Sadly, HBO Max is not going to be renewing Gossip Girl for season 3. I think they're gonna just wrap up season 2 and call it quits. This sucks. It really does sucks, because I had high hopes for Gossip Girl. I wanted to see furthermore of everybody's story, but we did see that today, T. And I was sad, right? I know a lot of people right now that's listening probably clowning me for it, because it's like, you watch Gossip Girl? Yes, I do. I enjoy it. So that was the first sad news. Not super sad, but there was a mass shooting, T, of course, in Monterey Park, California. This happened January 21st, so I want to say 2 days ago. Mass shooting occurred Monterey Park in California. 11 people were killed and 9 others was injured. Of course, the shooting happened at a Lunar New Year celebration. If you guys don't know what a Lunar New Year, that's a Chinese New Year celebration that happens every January. It was held in a Star Ballroom dance studio at about 10:22 p.m. The gunman was identified as Hukan Tran, who was 72. He died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound during a standoff with Torrance police the next day. It is the deadliest mass shooting in history of the Los Angeles County. It's a sad world that we live in. Yeah, it's very sad. Very, very sad. And I say to a lot of people, just make sure that you guys, everybody, whether you're in California, Georgia, New York, just be very careful. This was a sad occasion for sure. I was very, very sad about this because, shootings like this, you don't want to happen. You really don't want shootings like this to happen. And it does happen. And it's on a national holiday, right? Lunar New Year celebration. So it's very sad. And I hope everybody learns from this to just be careful. You don't know what people are going through, right? It's a sad world we live in, right? A lot of people are going through some deep shit. And people have breaking points. They do. So when you're at your breaking point, it's, you're there and you do some things that you never thought you could do or you imagine doing, but you're ending up doing it anyway. So like I say to a lot of people, just be careful. Be careful out there. It's a sad occasion for sure, but my condolences to the friends and family of that area that lost people, right? Shootings are real and we just have to be careful where we go, be around, be aware of your surroundings, if you will. So it's a sad occasion. Now, I've got a story to tell you guys on the podcast, the Beyond Swanky podcast, Swanky Studios, host K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas, before we go on commercial break. And the question is for my college people. Now, I was doing an assignment, and you guys know I'm a grad student, by the way. Hopefully that's pretty evident out there that you guys know that I'm a grad student. And I just gotta kind of bring this out there into the universe because I just don't understand it from some professors, right? And this is kind of like an update of how I'm doing in grad school. First off, grad school is going really well. This week is my 8th week, so it's my final week of my course 3, and then I get ready to do course 4. And I know the beginning of that week is going to be kind of interesting because I start the week I leave for New York. So I think I definitely got to do my first week assignment early. Hence why we're closing down K.L.P Entertainment couple days before that week, because we just got to get prepared. But I don't understand why professors want assignments done, whether if you got a big assignment and you only get 1 minute to present it. Now, I'm blessed enough to where my courses to where I'm doing presentations, I'm doing a presentation and, I get to present it, right? And I like to think I'm a good presenter. Back then, when I was in high school and we had to do PowerPoint presentations, I was not a fan of that. I hated doing PowerPoint presentations. But as I got older, and obviously me doing radio, and I've been doing really well so far in radio. I remember, you remember 2015, we were just trying to figure out the radio game. We did not know anything about radio and broadcasting. But over the years now, we've gotten a heck of a lot better, right? So back then I used to be nervous about presenting. One of the things I hate doing is presenting back when I was in high school. But over the years, I've gotten better. I remember getting my undergrad. We had Dr. Ansevitz. Shout out to Dr. Answervitz from Georgia Gwinnett College. I hope he is well. I think he's still teaching, but he is a phenomenal professor. He knows about marketing. He was one of my favorite professors at GGC. You had to take him. So I say to a lot of people out there, for all my college people that goes to GGC, if you don't take Dr. Answervitz, take Dr. Answervitz, because he's amazing. I hope he's still at GGC. I hope he didn't like retire or leave, because GGC, that was his, right? So I took his class, and I took him twice actually. I had him for promotions class, and then I had a marketing class with him because he was just that good. I need to take him again. And I remember that presentation, and this was promotions because we were working for the Star House Foundation. And I have that on my LinkedIn too, by the way, because that was volunteer work, and that's for a good profit, nonprofit organization. So, of course, I had to put that on there, and we had to present in front of the members of Star House Foundation. And of course, I sold them on some video marketing material because obviously you guys know what we do. And doing that presentation, I enjoy doing that presentation because I knew what I was talking about, and they was just so in awe. And of course, I left with an A in the course. That course was just so much fun. It was just that much fun, and I really enjoy doing that presentation. But nowadays, I'm finding myself very intrigued about professors wanting us to do a lot of research with a assignment that requires a lot. Each slide, 200, 500 words. You need to cite your sources very carefully. A lot of information you need to know, but you only get 1 minute to present it. I cannot stand it, and it's not me calling out a certain professor. This is just me ranting before we go in commercial. I'm just ranting because I don't understand it. Why they want me to present something in 1 minute when there's a lot of information I got to go over. And I guess I'm like that now because I'm not a fan to do a half-ass job, right? I don't like to half-ass anything, whether it's films, marketing, podcasting, cleaning, homework, or grad school work. I don't like to half-ass nothing. I don't. It's a pet peeve of mine. If I'm gonna do it, I need to fully do it. I need to fully get out there and really strunt and really do what I need to do. But again, professors want a minute presentation. So that's just my rant. I say to a lot of people who are in grad school, hang tough, hang tight with it, because professors will want that. They want a lot of information, but you only get a minute to present. And then I didn't get a minute per se, but when there's a lot of information, my video presentation is going to go over 10 minutes. I try not to make it too long, but it's just so much information. I got to explain it to you, right? I can't say everything in 1 minute and you get what I just said, right? Because then it's not a good presentation because you don't know what I just said because I had to present in 2 minutes, rushing through the material. I don't know what's going on. Again, it's just me ranting. That's just how I feel about it. But we're going to play some music, but we'll be right back here on the Beyond Swanky podcast. I'm your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Guys, don't go nowhere. We got more things to talk about coming up next. Stay tuned. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, the Beyond Swanky podcast. Host K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas, like I said. Of course, we've got the cast and crew members here today. We've got T, he's here. Monica's here. Addison is here. James is here. I see you. Everybody's here for another exciting podcast. Like I say, we're going to do our very best to come back for the K.L.P. Aftermath podcast. Like I said, it's a lot of moving parts with that show. We've been really busy with a lot of things, getting ready for New York and getting some things out there. I do have an announcement to make later on for the podcast and social media. So guys, stay close to my social media because there's something very interesting that's getting ready to go on for New York. Something that we got into. Can't make the announcement quite just yet, but it's coming. And of course, today's podcast was brought to you by Day Fit. Of course, is a new way, an innovative way to meet and date people who are in fitness. Again, if you are a Crunch member, you use the promo code Crunch, you get 1 month premium for free for 1 month to try it out. And then if you love it, you can subscribe to it. Again, Date Fit. Follow them on Instagram. And of course, get the app today and start your journey dating somebody who is also in the fitness world. You guys know how I do it. I'm big on the fitness world. I am. So today we've got another exciting news. And we got some drama, some messiness. It's not messy, but like Addison's here in the studio. If you guys don't know, Addison Hayden, she's our correspondent for Hip Hop News. So we're going to talk about Miss Chrisean Rock in a minute. But we've got to talk about The Last of Us Episode 2. I feel like I want to talk about each episode of the show and many other shows, right? That's something we're going to start doing about the show. But I wanted to kind of give a review and my thoughts for episode 2. Because episode 1 did really well for the most part. A lot of people enjoyed the first episode. Again, it was the highest rating for IMDb. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 99%. And the question does lie, will they keep up with it? Will they keep up with the scoring? Like I say, IGN is a good network. Honestly, I follow IGN and they're doing some good stuff, right? So IGN gave episode 1 a 9. I want to say it was a 9, and also they gave episode 2 a 9, which is amazing, which is good, right? They're keeping the score, and that was the thing that I had to a lot of people. That will they maintain their good looks? I enjoyed the next episode. Like I say, I'm always interested in a backstory of the episode. They're giving us a little bit more within the episode, and they're giving us a lot more than we did on the video game. So the New York Times did recap it, of course. Exit through the gift shop, of course. This week brought a more in-depth look at the post-apocalyptic Boston, as well as more details about exactly has happened to the planet. Of course, very, very interesting. For a few tinkling seconds in the middle of last week's The Last of Us, we've got a brief glimpse of how the post-apocalyptic Boston looks outside the quarantine zone. This week features more of a grand tour, and honestly, it's kind of awesome. I agree. The set looks amazing, right? It's post-apocalyptic. Did I get it, T? I probably did get it there that time. It looks amazing, right? Like I say, it looks amazing. It's more of a story. Of course, Tess does die, right? It's no secret. I know a lot of people. Tess dies? Yes, she died in the video game. The character, that is. So they make the clicker. We got to see the clickers for the first time. Episode 2. And they look amazing. They look just like the game. And I watched the episode, and then I like to watch the beyond the episode where they interview like Craig Mazin or Neil Druckmann, right? They're interviewing them, the actors and actresses, and they had a whole department team for the makeup and the design of the clickers. So it's very, very interesting as Joel and Tess escorts Ellie on what they hope will be an uneventful hike up to the Firefly compound in Beacon Hill. They trek through the crumbling city where the skyscrapers are collapsed on each other and overtaken by unchecked nature. Of course, in Ellie's first appearance in this episode, she is curled up in a patch of grass, batched in sunlight, because Joel and Tess are scared because we find out in episode 1, obviously from the game too, that Ellie's infected, but she is the cure. It's very interesting as we move along. A lot of people are very interesting about how things have ended, right? There's a good segment of the show where they're getting attacked by clickers and they're surviving, right? There's a moment where Ellie and Joel has a moment to really talk and really, get to know each other, right? As after the attack, they're outside and they're heading towards the museum and the Capitol, that Capitol building. Joel and Ellie has their moments, just like the video game. So it's very interesting. And I get jitters, right? And this is why this show is so great, because this show will go off in history to be the best adaptation of a video game. Right? Verbatim, from word, they recite a lot of things. They do. And the moment that Ellie figures out that Tess is infected, of course she says, holy shit, she's infected, just like Ellie, just like Ashley Johnson's character in the game. So that's why this game goes down in history of being the best adaptation, because they're really reciting a lot of things in this. How the way Tess dies, though, is very interesting, because you guys got to remember, in the game, Tess dies by the military, right? But in the show, Tess dies by the infected. I can't remember who director, Neil or Craig, I can't remember who said it in the after show, but they said that, of course, we had to change a little bit when it comes down to the game and to the series, right? They're changing some things. And I think that's good. A lot of people I saw on Twitter today, T, they were so upset about how the ending was. The show was great, right? IGN gave it a 9. It's up there. But you also got trolls. You also got people on Twitter that's not going to like things. Twitter and Instagram is where I saw it. I think it's good to change up some things. When it comes to these adaptations, it is good to change up on some things. I genuinely enjoy that, because now you're giving people a different scope of the show, right? This show is just that great because they're reciting from the game, but they're changing a little bit, and we're getting some backstory. We're getting a little bit more to fill because the episode was an hour. I enjoy every waking moment of it, and I guess it's me liking this show that much to where, number one, I got to review it every episode now because it's interesting, right? It's very interesting. We like shows like this. I do want to see, and I'm sure a lot of video game developers and people that wants to make other video game type shows, I'm sure everybody's taking notes now, right? Everybody's taking notes of how they can turn their game into series to make that money, because Neil Druckmann, Greg Mazaz, and everybody from Naughty Dog and PlayStation and HBO, everybody's getting rich off this show because it's just that good, right? So, and it's like that too, right, with this show, because you don't want to compare, but this show is just like the same following as let's say The Walking Dead, right? So, like I say, episode 2 was great. IGN gave it a 9. I give it a 9 as well. It's good. It's very, very good. I want to see The Last of Us continue the train, because honestly, I'm looking at these reviews and they're on a good train. They're on a good light right now. So we'll see where it comes out with it later on into episode 3. Comes out Sunday. Can't wait. Cannot wait for episode 3 and 4. I think when episode 5 comes in, I'm going to be in New York, so I probably won't be able to be doing none of this. Now, moving on right along for the podcast. Our last segment for today's podcast, the Beyond Swanky podcast with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas, by the way. I have to talk about this. This whole thing, and this is just, okay, because I'm ranting on this show. I'm ranting. Because I gotta say, I am so sick and tired, and I'm just joking really, but of seeing Chrisean Rock and Blueface. Right? I'm over it. Everybody's talking about it. And I think it's fitting that I talk about it here on our show. Of course, news sources is coming from our good friends over there at Complex. Chrisean Rock says that she wants twins following pregnancy announcement, addresses Blueface DNA comments. Again, if you guys don't know, Chrisean Rock got on the internet talking about her recent announcement that she's pregnant, right? And it is said to say it was for Blueface's child. So shortly after she shared the news, Blueface took the social media to deny that he was the father and demanded a paternity test to be conducted. If you guys don't know, like they had some altercations before, Blueface and Chrisean. Honestly, and I seen it, right? Blueface, I mean, he smacked Chrisean, right? I'm gonna say on the record on the show, on the podcast, never, guys, never lay your hands on a woman, and vice versa. You just never do it, right? You just never really want to do that. But it does happen, right? And when it happens, it's out there on the internet and people are watching it. But I'm never, ever gonna put my hands on a woman. So Blueface wanted a paternity test to be conducted. And of course, the Tatiana rapper, bust it down, Tatiana, bust it down. Yeah, he's the man that sings that, or raps that rather. Rapper also said that he and Chrisean were officially done. Blueface and Chrisean Rock's tremulous on again, off again romance has been subject for numerous headlines, y'all. But at the end of the day, Chrisean Rock is sticking to the script. Blueface is her man, and that's that. Chrisean, Blueface don't want you, man. Blueface don't want you. Let him go. Right? It's weird. It's on media. It's so weird that couples are just in denial. When somebody don't want them, they say, date me, you have no choice. Like I say, thank God I'm not in that situation, because if I know I'm done with somebody, I'm done. I don't want nothing to do with them. Of course, Complex had the opportunity to speak to Chrisean Rock moments after she stepped onto the red carpet now on Zeus Network's new show, Baddies West. The exclusive screening and premiere was held on Sunday, so yesterday, or the other day, by the time you're hearing the podcast, at the Regal North Hollywood 4DX in Los Angeles. During the chat, and it's on social media, guys, Chrisean Rock expressed she was high spirits and excited for about motherhood, and when she's asked she wanted a boy and girl, of course Chrisean Rock replied saying that she like one of each. And this is her quotes, y'all, both. I hope it's twins or something. She said, I'm the 11th out of 12 siblings. I like kids. I like a big family. So again, she's saying that it's Blueface's baby. Look, Blueface, go get the paternity test done. Prove they ain't your baby. But I don't know. I seriously doubt it, because Chrisean and Blueface, they've been dating on and off again. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is his baby, right? I'm not surprised. That could have maybe well be his babies. Like I say, soon as the and it's gonna come out from social media, T. Soon as it comes out, if it's not his, because paternity test, first of all, that stuff don't lie. You can't lie on that. She continued to say, guys, he's just mad that I went to Baltimore and didn't tell him. I said I was in LA with my homegirl Stunna, and I wasn't. I was in Baltimore with my family. I took a trip, and he's blowing up my phone like, where you at? Where you at? I ghost him for a whole 24 hours so he can live with that. So he can't live with that. I didn't know if I was with a, we're not gonna say it on the podcast, or if I was really with my family. So he got to popping it like a little bitch. Laughs, and she says the F word. One tweet in particular saw Blueface make a claim that Chrisean had encounters with 10 different men last year. Wow. All right, this is Chrisean's response. Of course, that's cap. I don't even got 10 bodies. I didn't even get 10 bodies, of course. Again, this is stuff, right? There's a video. We can get this video. I mean, the beat's nice. It sounds like a Pop Smoke kind of song, though. Like everybody's, I don't know. It's weird that everybody, look, I'm a music artist myself. I don't judge people when making beats. Hey, Chrisean, she made that beat. She gonna make millions off of it, right? So I ain't here hating, right? It's not hate. But that sounds like a song by Pop Smoke. Christian Dior, you know, that's what that sounds like, right? But hey, get your money. But the Baltimore native, who recently opened about her mental health struggles, said that she's going great. She added she said that she's not pressed. She's actually happy that this has happened. Of course, she's in the studio making beats. Very emotional, right? It's a very emotional time for that. Everybody's going through some mental struggles right now, so I hope she gets all the benefits of you know, thriving through mental struggles, right? Because everybody's going through it. And like I say to Blueface, hey, if he says that he's done with Chrisean, I get it, but I don't know. That could have been his baby though. I don't know. They've been together for a while, T. So I don't know. But I am tired of seeing. First of all, I'm tired of seeing domestic violence. She did attack somebody at the red carpet too. She went to fighting. I saw that on Twitter. Yeah, so it's a lot of things going on with that. So Blueface, Chrisean, y'all getting kind of out of hand. Y'all getting kind of messy with me, man. I don't know, but it's out there. It's happening. So comment below, guys. Let me know what you guys think about that. Again, that is a relationship that you just don't want to be involved in. But here's a relationship, again, you do want to be involved in. Somebody from Date Fit, our sponsor for today's podcast, Date Fit. Again, you get 1 month free. You get the 1 month free, the premium month for free, if you use the code Crunch. Now you got to be a Crunch member for that. But if you are a Crunch member and you have your credentials, use the promo code Crunch, and then you get the 1 month premium for free. So don't miss out on that perk as well. So that's going to wrap it up here on our podcast here today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. We had a lot to talk about, a lot of juiciness for this podcast. And as always, guys, stay tuned. If you're watching the video version of this podcast, thank you so very much. Like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so that way you guys don't miss content coming out for K.L.P Entertainment. And also, if you're listening to it on every major audio platform, we're talking Stitcher, iHeartRadio, that's a big player for us, Audacity, Stitcher Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Listen Notes, TuneIn Radio. We're everywhere, guys. Thank you. Share with your friends so that way you guys don't miss out on another new episode. So that's going to wrap it up here on the Beyond Swanky podcast. I'm your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. As always, I like to say, stay safe, stay swanky, peace.